Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, beautiful people. Welcome to another episode of Life with Shenita, and I am Shenita Connolly, also known as Dr. C. We'd like to welcome you guys to an exciting show this evening. I am going to be sharing the evening with two amazing and possibly three amazing individuals. But for right now, I have my honorary co host with me this evening, Andrew Snorton. Andrew, are we excited or what?
I tell you what, first off, thanks for having me on. It is always a pleasure to be a part of the great work you're doing with the show. Second, tonight's topic, you definitely have to be excited. Anytime you get a chance to take in the creative and performing arts, and it's not only just with the great artists, but the great causes that are supported and things along those lines. Not only that, you want to do something on the late afternoon, early evening before you have to wind down and get ready for your week. So definitely, I hope people not only circle July 23rd, but they, share this info and just be a part of the great event and the great people that are part of it.
Yes, it is like a dream come true. And I'm a jazz enthusiast, and I just am so excited to just share these talented people with um, my circle, people that I know, and then people that I will get to know on July 23rd. My friend Delphine, she's excited and waiting for this event.
Oh
We
yeah.
are waiting for you, Delphine.
Hey, and hey, great to have you on it. Hey, tell somebody to tell somebody. Seriously,
That's
thank you
it.
for being a part of tonight. Hey,
Yes, spreading the word. It's almost like spreading the wealth. We know that it's going to be a wealthy event full of talent and substance. And who wants to walk away from something and not share it with someone and say, "Oh, I should have told you." No, let's not have should have told you. Let's tell you in advance so you can get a ticket and be there and experience it for yourself.
that-
So somebody tells somebody, and they tell somebody. That's
exactly,
that's what we're hoping for. So
exactly. You hit
thank
the,
you.
yeah, you hit the nail on the head. It's like, you know what? When good things are going on, don't keep it to yourself.
Right.
Seriously.
We're society is so quick to share bad news. And so we've got to get to a place where we really change that up. And let's be as excited about sharing great news as we are about sharing not so good news with people. And so this is definitely noteworthy, as you said. It's an event that will showcase not only the talents of the artist, but we will have the opportunity to have young creatives from the Martha E. Stillwell School of the Arts performing in the lobby as people arrive. So I'm so excited under the leadership of Dr. Derek Jackson, who will join us next week. He'll have a small group of his students there to showcase their talents. And so I'm really excited. Not only do we get to celebrate this wonderful occasion, but we get to recognize young creatives who are coming up behind these artists, and we'll be able to take the stage, even sometimes maybe with them down the road, They may be, because I heard Eric Darius' story. He talked about how he was a young boy. His father, I think, may have been a musician, and he would be um, at shows as a young man. And now he's traveling. I'm not sure if it's Rick Braun, but one of the artists he used to watch as a young kid, and now he's performing with. So you never know what that can be for these young people who will be there, who aspire to maybe be artists one day, and they get to meet a D. Lucas, they get to meet a Kim Scott, they get to meet a Brooke Alford, and they're like, "Oh my goodness, I saw her perform, or I got to shake her hand when I was in 10th grade or 11th grade," and they'll take that with them forever. So I'm excited.
Definitely. And you said a lot right there. We think about, the younger versions of us, and we saw someone and we imagined, hey, that could be us on stage or on screen or whatever. And
Mhm.
what seed planting comes from this. And like I said before, it's not just a great way to experience, artists, great setting, great venue, and supporting some great causes. But like you said, you never know who's going to be motivated, encouraged, and inspired
Yes.
by what happens through the lens of music or the creative arts. And now all of a sudden it's like, what other things can we do through these lenses in order to impact lives, impact communities, and just change people's way of thinking, just
Yes.
approaches. And like you said before, things are possible. We know all things are possible through a certain entity. You know exactly who I'm referring to.
Through Christ.
But now when you're getting to do it, yeah, no, seriously, and now chance to do it, and you chance to break ground.
Yes, I'm excited.
That can encourage other people in their way, shape, and form. Hey, how do I break ground?
Right.
How can I bring communities together?
Right.
So many positives that can come from July 23rd, and yeah, definitely excited. Definitely.
Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned that, because sometimes we look at other people and think it's not possible for us, right? And maybe it's timing, maybe it's procrastination, maybe it's fear. But I want to always be an encourager to people in hopes that my journey will inspire their journey to dig deeper, go harder, go further on this journey until they expire. Because that's what it's about, living fully during the season that we're in. So let's not, delay this any longer. I'm excited to bring in one of our artists, D. Lucas, who I remember seeing him perform at Kim Waters' restaurant years ago for the very first time. And so I've been following him ever since. And so I was honored that he said yes. And I see all the work that he's been doing over the years, his travel, his passion for his craft. And so to have him partake in this inaugural event is just warms my heart every time I think about him saying yes. So we're going to bring him in, Andrew, and get this party started.
Hey, looking forward to hearing directly from the artist. So let's bring him in.
Yes.
Hey,
so good evening.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm great. This is a pleasure to be here.
Yes, we're glad to have you.
All right.
We were just talking about how I was introduced to you at Kim Waters' place, and how I've been following you for years, and just really enjoy your gift. And I thank you for sharing it freely.
Thank you so much. Thank you. That seems like yesterday.
I know, right?
Met. Yeah, it seems like yesterday, but that's been a couple of years back now.
A long time.
Right.
Yes. Right. And so I want you to introduce yourself freely to the audience. A lot of times people are very modest, and I believe in being free to introduce yourself. So share who you are, D.
Sure. Okay. Again, my name is D. Lucas, and I live here in Atlanta. I'm originally from Alabama, and I have been in the Atlanta area for going on 35 years now. Wow. I worked in corporate America for 25 years. And then in 2014, that is when I made my move to become an entrepreneur. And with that, I was able to be an entrepreneur as in the music industry, where I own my own music company, which has allowed me to produce my own records. And I've been very fortunate to release 10 albums.
Wow. 10?
10.
Ooh.
10. Have a family, 23-year-old son, 14-year-old daughter, and a lovely wife of 26 years of marriage.
Now, that really warms my heart, because, I'm a marriage champion.
Okay. Family is important.
It is.
Yeah. Okay. And I think that's it. Let's fire away. Let's talk about it.
So D, I heard you say you produce your own music and you have 10 albums.
Right. And when I say produce, I mean, I oversee everything, the process of putting a record out. Now, of course, I don't do this by myself. I have music producers to help shape my sound the sonically way. But in terms of the concept of an album release, the title, how you want to release it, where you want to release it. That's all my vision. It's just like the way the record labels think when they have an artist on their roster. Okay, we want this record to come out this year. We want this record to come out next year. We want to market to this radio station. Well, I am the one that wear all those hats. So and I think like a record label, a major record label, but it's from an indie perspective. And it allows me to control what I own and own what I control.
Mm-hmm. Can you say that again?
Control what you own and own what you control.
I love it. I know, Andrew, you're just feeling that.
I tell you what, and I love how you broke that down, because having done audiobooks and, like you said, having a team where you have an idea of the creative direction, but you have people there in place to help you with key components, right. Writing, recording, what platforms you're going to be on, things along those lines. And it's one of those things where you know what your vision is and you know the direction you're trying to go in with each album, each individual track or what have you.
Right.
And it's good to have a team of people who understand that and believe in the work you're doing. It's almost like you have to have people around you that are willing to go as hard or harder.
Right.
Because especially if they're willing to go a little bit harder, it's like, wait a minute, I need to step my game up. And then that gives you the push and the challenge to do what you're doing on the creative end, all the different performances you've been able to do, the great work that you've done, but still being excited about the great work you've yet to do.
Absolutely.
And it's an amazing experience. So yeah, once you started talking, I was like, man, this reminds me, I know my team's like, we need to get back in the studio.
Yeah. And you know what? And this is the reality of it. It's not for everyone to control or have full concept of their career. Some people need guidance. Some people need direction because they don't want to take on that type of responsibility. And therein lies someone to manage them. That's fine. And you have to know who you are as a person. I know for me as a person, I need to know what's going on with my career. That's just me.
I like that. Because we do, like Oprah Winfrey. I remember her saying, I write my checks, or
yeah. I like to sign my own checks. I like to put my name on that check.
Right. And I love that. The entrepreneur, you say in that area. So does that mean there's another area of your life that you're still employed?
No. This is what I do.
Okay.
This is what I do full time. Once I let's back up. So when I moved to Atlanta in '89, I got into IT. So I did IT from '89 to 2014. Well, along the way, I was kind of like moonlighting, building my career as a musician. It wasn't until 2014 that I decided, hey, I want to go full steam ahead with it.
And you felt comfortable, like I
felt comfortable with it. Yeah, I felt comfortable with it because I had built enough resources, and sometimes you have to go on faith too. I had built up enough resources and confidence where if it doesn't fail, I have a backup plan. And still, I have I still have the skill set to go back out there, and it doesn't hurt me to go back out in the industry because I have a skill set. And oddly enough, I took a lot of the skill sets from corporate America and I incorporated into what I do from an entrepreneurial standpoint, because you need time management, you need discipline, because when you're working on your own, that's a lot of free time.
Yes.
And that free time can really become lazy time if you don't know what you're doing or you don't have the discipline in doing so.
That's good stuff. Andrew?
Yeah, you said a lot right there. It takes a disciplined mindset because there are gaps, and sometimes, quote, not only do you have to motivate yourself, but you have to have a team of people that will help motivate you. Because like it's a difference between taking time to pause and like not doing anything.
Right. Correct.
I agree. Long now, it's like you got to start over again, and you've got to work twice as hard just to get to a certain point. So you captured the ebb and flow, not only just through what you're doing in music, but anyone who is doing anything that leans towards entrepreneurship, like it's I don't want to say you're on the clock all the time, but you're on the clock longer than what people realize.
And your mind is always on the clock.
Woo, can't even sleep.
Your mind is always on the clock. I mean, there's been many nights 1 o'clock had easily become 4 o'clock a.m. because you're just thinking about something, getting ready for the next day, and you got all this creative process going on. And next thing you know, it's 4 o'clock. And I have kind of built up a stamina where I'm back up early again. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't bother me health-wise. It's just that I have so much I want to do in a short period of time. And it doesn't bother me. I mean, health-wise, I'm fine. But it's just that these are the things that keep me going from a business perspective. And to see the output from what I put in, it makes life that much easier.
Yeah. And you said something earlier about faith. And I truly am a faith seeker, a faith believer. And so it does require you to step out of your comfort zone into that desire, or that purpose, or that passion that you have.
Right.
And not know, if the consistency and the income is going to be there.
Right.
You're still going to be able to maintain the lifestyle that you've been accustomed to.
Right. And, and if you go in with that mindset of faith, you're going to have to need it, because everything is not going to work in favor for you. You're going to have some roadblocks. So what if? So if this does not work for you today, what are you going to do to fix it and move forward?
Right.
I can only tell you so many times I've been turned down on a performance. Okay, if you don't perform, you don't eat. So my thing is, you have to continue to build. What are the things that you have to put in place to sell you to someone to put you on for performance? Mm-hmm. What are the small things? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you have to put all that into play. But you have to have a mindset that you're not going to win every time.
Right.
You're not going to win all the time, but you're going to win.
Right.
And you have to stay consistent. You have to stay focused, and there's something down the road. Right.
And it made me think about this event that we're so excited to share with some and reiterate with others, Sunday, July 23rd. It was Step Out on Faith. It was something I've never done before. But I know the purpose behind it, or the vision behind it, was to celebrate the journey that I have been on for 8 years, filled with faith. After losing your spouse, who was the breadwinner, and not knowing what that future is going to look like, and God directing you to work with other widows and widowers in the midst of your grieving. And for 8 years, you're laboring to help other people, and sometimes needing help and help yourself. And so I am excited to have you, to have Brooke, to have Kim, to celebrate life after the rain, and sharing your gifts and talents with the world, because not only will you share it in that beautiful concert hall, but there will probably be snippets of the concert floating around the world for years to come, and showing people faith. I want people to see, this is a vision God gave me 8 years ago with the ministry, Widows and Widowers. And I want to make sure couples like yourself understand the importance of valuing your spouse while you have them, right? That's another part of this purpose that I've been on, is really encouraging couples to stay blended together, stay connected together, and, walk this journey out, because when your spouse is gone, there's no more coming back, right?
That's right.
So this is a faith walk, and I'm grateful that, I'm walking it with you guys for this concert that's going to take place at Spivey Hall on Sunday, July 23rd at 5 p.m. Andrew, you want to, finish that out right quick before we invite Brooke in?
Yeah, definitely. And this kind of ties in, and indirectly, Dee, you answered it. But here's a question I want to throw at you. A lot of times you're asked, when you got into music, who motivated, who encouraged, who inspired you. But I want to take a little different tangent on it.
Okay.
It's almost like borrowing from Hook and Hold in education. We're aware there's different artists or different genres that drew you into music. Who would you say keeps you going in regards to all the work you've done the last 10 years? Are there contemporary artists, or are there artists that you that to keep you going and remind yourself why you're on this journey?
Well, what keeps me going are the people. It's not so much the artists, because I look at artists as co-workers, peers. But what motivates me and what encouraged me is to deliver to the people. See, I truly believe that artists have a gift unlike no other. Music is powerful. And I truly believe that to give music to people, everyday people, because everybody have a different walk in life. You don't know what they're going through, but music can make everyone a commonality of one problem. And everybody can relate to that one problem, whatever it may be. But music can bring everyone together. Music can make everyone feel good. But that is really what motivates me, is to have something to say musically and try to connect with the audience. I've had, on several occasions, I've had several people come after my show Friday night between 8 and 9:45. I had one couple come up and tell me at the merch table, "Sir, I had a bad week at work. Every day until this last hour and 45 minutes, it just changed everything." Do you know what that did for me? That made me think I need to do more of it, because there are more people out there like him that's going through it. So that's why I said music is powerful.
Yes, it is.
We as artists, we have a responsibility to deliver good music, tell a story, and you don't always have to say verbally what you're saying. Through the music, it speaks for itself.
I love that. You said good music.
Yeah.
That has substance, that has meaning, that gives life, that adds value,
Right.
that's uplifting,
Right.
not degrading. I absolutely love what you guys bring to the table. Let me just say that.
And you'll see on July 23rd, and I think I speak for Brooke and I speak for Kim. We're all great friends. But when you see them perform, you're going to see style, but you're also going to see substance. You're going to see the passion in their music and the way they perform. And you're going to see that the music means a lot to them and is important, and they have a responsibility to deliver the music to the people. You'll see it.
Yes. And I love everybody has their individuality. They have their own style. I love that.
Absolutely.
So without further delay, we have joining us Ms. Brooke Alford. And so we're going to invite her to come in with us and share in the rest of our conversation. So I'm excited to have her. I know she's traveling, so I'm grateful that she was able to carve out some time to spend with us. So we are going to get some vibes going on here. So let's welcome her to the platform. Good evening.
Uh-oh.
You're on mute. Just unmute yourself. There we go. There we go.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Still.
Can we hear? The volume. Something's with her volume. It's off mute, but the volume is not working. Let's see if we can get her.
Can you hear me now?
Yay! We can hear you now.
Yes, I'm glad I know a little bit about technological things.
Yes, I'm glad you do too, because I could not have helped you.
Yes,
But,
right.
but welcome.
Yes.
Hi, Dr. Shenita. Hi, Andrew.
How are you?
I am amazing.
We're so glad that you could join us and carve out some time to be here this evening. So thank you.
Absolutely. It is an honor and a pleasure. Thank you so much for your patience. Yes, I am on a different time zone for a second and working with young musicians right now. So I'm in the midst, but I'm so grateful. I love what I do and glad to be here. So.
Yes. Well, we're going to allow you the opportunity to introduce yourself in the way that you'd like to introduce yourself. Dee had the opportunity, and I always say, be generous to share who you really are. Don't be shy.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Well, first and foremost, I am a woman who strives to be her absolute greatest. That's the first and foremost. And everything from there is, I look as a fruit. And so I've had the opportunity to really work on myself when I understood that nothing really can come from me if I'm not even together. You know what I mean? And music comes from within us. So if my within isn't even together, how can I really put out anything true, anything authentic to myself? So that's really been my focus. I would say consistently for the last 4 to 5 years. And from that, I realized that's when my life really changed. And of course, with the transition of my father in 2020, that was a further refinement of my purpose, my direction, my path, and the music that I wanted to really be true to myself and share outwardly. And so I'm a person, yes, that just strives for the greatest of myself. And I love what I do because when you finally accept and you finally um, just realize that, you know what, this is my purpose. I'm here to put out not only great music, but inspiration, motivation to let people know it's never too late to do what you love. It's never too soon to do what you love. And as long as you find that thing that you love and you're so passionate about, you can make a life out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've had the opportunity to, through my music, and my music has been my catalyst, to be able to reach audiences, young and maturated, and just share the message of hope, of just knowing that you can overcome
Yes.
and that it's never too late. Because a
Yes.
lot of times I think the biggest battle for many is I'm too late. It's too late. I'm too old. Or I've missed my mark, or I missed my opportunity. I can't do it. And I come along and I say, no, actually, it's not too late,
Mhm.
and you can do this. And speaking, and I'll get a little personal. For instance, I don't have any children yet. And some people are saying, well, what are you waiting for? That type of thing. Or, oh, it's too late. You done missed the mark. That happens in your 20s, and I'm like, well, maybe that's not my purpose. Or maybe it's supposed to happen when I'm at a certain point in my life so that that child can come into love and security and healing and not trauma and toxicity. And so I just look at my life as that. And yes, I've been through a lot. I've been through a lot of things. I don't look like what I've been through though.
Thank God for that.
But I'm just grateful that music has always been there. And I'm going to be celebrating 30 years of playing violin, but longer in playing music and in the arts in general. So to answer your question, Dr. Shanita, that's
That
all.
is, let me tell you, the synergy that answered it and is set the tone for Sunday, July 23rd. Let me just say that, because
Absolutely.
the synergy that just came through, that I felt, I'm sure Andrew and Dee felt,
Oh yeah.
and the combination of you and Dee and Kim all together, coupled with what God has gifted me for this event and the experience, because as I said to some other people, I want this event, I want people to be able to leave and say, now that was an experience.
Mhm.
Not just another concert, but
Right.
that was an experience from the beginning. When you walked through the door on the red carpet and walked into the concert hall and back out the concert to go to your car, you're going to be saying, now that was an experience. That's what I want. I want the healing. I want the love, the all of the energy and synergy that we all bring to the table for the people to feel it.
Mhm.
So thank you for sharing your heart, because that was good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes,
Absolutely. I couldn't see it any other way. You know,
yes,
if you're not who you are, then who are you? And
Right.
God can't bless you if you aren't you.
that's
So
it.
I also learned that as well. And, just life will teach you some things, people will teach you some things, experiences,
Yes,
all of that. So I count it all. And I'm
yes,
grateful for every single stage that
yes.
I've been through, even the ones where I felt the most embarrassed, like, oh my gosh, I said that, or I did that, or that was a different Brooke, but it was
Right,
me, but
right.
it was a different one. So my bad, y'all. So all of it, all y'all,
All
all
that.
the Brooks. It's cool. We here now.
All,
All
all of that. All of that. I love it. I want to give a shout out to your business partner and my colleague, Paul Burt, too.
awesome.
Paul Burt, in Henry County. You're
Yes, yes, Paul. Yes,
yes.
absolutely,
And so
absolutely.
want to give a shout out. He's watching the show. Want to give a shout out to him for
Yeah.
all the effort that he's putting into, bringing great music and great vibes to Henry County. So shout out to
Mhm.
him.
Awesome.
So Andrew, let's go with the next question we have for them.
Wow. And I tell you what, both of you have really dropped some gems, nuggets, not only in regards to, a little bit of a snapshot of what brought you here, but also what keeps you here. Describe to us, like, it's almost like sometimes, like in pro sports, an athlete will say, being on the court, that's my sanctuary. For people who, quote, haven't had that, let's say, stage experience, walk through and describe when you're on stage. How is it that it's that blend of structure, creativity, and just going where it takes you?
I know for me, I have to say, and live performance versus recording is totally different. And I think everyone's persona is different. But I know for me personally, that's when I open up even more on a live performance, because I feel that is the best outlet to tell someone something at that particular time, because you may not see them again ever. Um, whether it's structured or impromptu, I prefer to have some structure, but most of the time, whatever comes, because every show is going to be different. Every environment is going to be different. So when you try to cookie cut or something, it's not going to go well, in my opinion. I just go with the flow because, for example, I give you a perfect example. Some audience may want you to go out there and play for them. It has to feel invited to go out there and perform. Sometimes some people may just want to sit there and just listen to the music. It's hard to read that, but trust me, they are enjoying what you're doing. But you as an artist have to still deliver the concept of what's the intent, and that's to connect with the audience. But to answer your question, I think the greatest feeling is to perform, play something that is unscripted, but it has a structure, but go somewhere else with it, because you can never get it back, but you enjoy that you did it. And if they respond to it, it makes it all that much better.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Brooke?
Yes, absolutely. Great response to that, D. And I just want to piggyback off of what you said in regards to recording, being in the studio versus being live on stage. I look at recordings as like a reference. Like, I'm going to share with you this stamp in this moment in time of what my ideas are, and then put it on this recording that lasts forever. And then you have your live performance where it's like, okay, y'all heard the ideas, right? Now let me show you something else. I'm gonna take it further. I'm gonna level up, and I'm gonna give you something in real time based off of this reference
Mm-hmm.
that I recorded however many, months, years, whatever ago.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the excitement of live performance, because you can recreate and recreate and recreate and recreate as much as you want, and be in real time with the real energy in the space versus the energy that was there in the recording studio, which was a whole different energy, most likely.
Right.
And then you recreate it in that new space with the new energy and the new people and the new places that you're going.
Mhm.
And they're right there with you because it's real. And music to me is just about being real. It's about being authentic. It's
Mhm.
like, if you're not authentic, then what are we doing? We're programming. We're just creating, bots at that point. And
Mhm.
then you have to go home and live a whole different life. It's like, I'm good. That takes a lot of energy, and I'm not for it. So I'd rather just be Brooke. When you see me at the grocery store and you say, "Hey, Brooke, oh my gosh, I just love that," I'm gonna be like, "Hey, what's up?" You know what? Thank
Right.
you. Did you check out the live stream? Whatever in that moment. And they're just like,
Oh, I love it.
so
That's right. Put that plug in there. Put that plug in there.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. When it comes to those who may not have ever experienced a stage or being in front of people or entertaining and all of that stuff, I look at performance as my paradise. And I said, imagine being in that space where it's just the most bliss that you've ever experienced.
Mhm.
That's my space. When I'm on the stage, it's literally me, the most high, and my violin.
Yes.
Mhm.
It's right there. The triangle right there.
Vertical.
Mhm.
Mm.
And I then just play. I'm looking at, my violin. At the same time, I'm feeling the energy of the space. I'm seeing my audience. Sometimes you can't see them. So, because it might be dark, but
Right.
you're seeing whatever you can see. You're looking out. And for me, I've been performing since I was 3. I started with dance. And so my parents recognized very early, yeah, she need to be on the stage. She's dramatic, And my sister would always say that growing up. She was like, "Look, you're so dramatic." She's my older sister, Mia, and I was just like, "Oh," And my dad, he would always say, "Brooke, you're so dramatic." So that was my thing. I
Right.
liked attention. And they were like, well, let's channel that attention into something, productive, something impactful, and put you on a stage. And
Yes.
so since I was 3, I've been performing, I've been in front of people. I love being in front of people. But the interesting part is I had to grow into that. When I was a child, I was a little shy from what I was told. I didn't feel shy, but people would say, "Oh, Brooke, you seem a little shy, kind of quiet." And I was like, in my mind, I thought I was being bold. But then I realized that's because I was playing. Whenever I played, I was bold. But off the stage, I was kind of to myself. But now I feel like I have a great balance with my on stage and off stage life. And I'm able to fuse the two together in a way that's healthy and in a way that I feel good about. And so when it comes to performance, I just look at it as paradise and that I'm here. Let's just have fun. We worked hard off the stage to prepare this thing. So let's just go ahead and do it. So
Yeah.
that's how I look at it.
I love it. I love
Mhm.
it. I just cannot wait to see the synergy on Sunday, July 23rd at Spivey Hall. And let me tell you guys, when God gave me this vision last year at the end of the year, I reached out to Hank Stewart, and Hank said that he had spoken to you, I think last week. I called him to thank him because had it not been for me reaching out to Hank and saying, Hank, if you had the opportunity to host a concert, where would you host it? Because Hank hosts events a lot.
Yep.
I respect what he does and his gifts. And I said, let me call somebody that's out here doing it. Hank said, hands down, Shenita, Spivey Hall.
Mm.
So Spivey Hall was the only place I looked into for this event. And so I know that the synergy that night is going to be incredible, coupled with your talents and gifts and all the other aspects of the evening. It is going down.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
And I can't wait for them to get a taste of who you all are in your space.
Yes.
And then all together at the end.
Yes, indeed. And you know what, Shanita? You chose a very phenomenal space. When people hear Spivey Hall, they're like, "Oh,"
Yep.
and I don't have to say anything else. They're just like, "All right, where's tickets?" because
Right.
it's already sold itself. Spivey
Yes.
Hall we're already convinced. People already know it's going to be amazing. The acoustics, a lot of musicians are like,
Ooh,
oh my goodness, the acoustics.
yes.
And then other people who've experienced it, like, oh yes, I
Yes.
love that hall. So it sold itself. You made a great choice. Thank you,
Yeah.
Hank. I just saw him about 2 weeks ago
Yes.
at an event. So yes.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. So I just want to encourage people to get a ticket, to be present. Don't hear about it, experience it.
Yes.
And I just am excited. Andrew has been the PR firm behind this, doing a lot of work behind the scenes. I want to give you kudos, Andrew, for stepping in and just helping to take this thing to another level in with your gifts and talents as well. So it takes a team. And I could not do it. God gave the vision, people joined in, people said yes, they're doing their parts to this, and we're celebrating life after the rain, after losing my spouse, and it's been an 8-year journey. We're bringing in some youth, to share their talents in the lobby. We have an amazing musical director, Al Smith, who's bringing in the artists, the musicians, and it's just going to be an incredible time of celebration. um, Before we, because we have about 15, 16 minutes, but I want you guys to share with us just a small piece of the most rewarding part of your journey as musicians, because I want to share a little piece of your music, each of your music, before we end the show as well. But I want you guys to share what has been the most rewarding part of this journey as musicians. I know you
Well,
touched on it a little bit, but
yeah. I know for me, and I think the way I started in my career is a little different, because I didn't start when I was young. I started when I was 28, and I was self-taught. I've always wanted to play an instrument growing up, but growing up in the environment that I did, my parents, made a choice of, hey, sports or music. And growing up in a small town, most small towns, they kind of get behind sports. So that's what I did. But I've always wanted to be an artist. But years went by, college. Then it wasn't until I moved to Atlanta, it's when I self-taught myself. Basically self-taught myself, bought my own horn. Did not know what I was doing. I didn't even buy an alto. I bought a soprano, the hardest sax you can ever try to learn. But I started going out to some of the clubs in Atlanta and got inspired. And here and there, I started picking up things from different musicians. And I basically just self-taught myself. But I say all that to say this, to get in a band for a couple of years and then start out then eventually become an artist, solo artist. The rewarding part of my journey is that I can sit back now and look at where I started to where I am now, and I can see the growth. And if you can't see the growth, I think personally, then there's something wrong there. If you can see the growth, then that's a reward for me. But I also understand that I have a long way to go forward. And to couple that with fans that I don't even know from afar, close up, family, friends, people you don't know globally, to admire your work or become a fan, that is rewarding in itself, because now you've taken content, you have told your story as an artist, told the world, and they connect, they can identify with it, and they can appreciate it. Then you can sit back and look back, okay, here's an artist that started with his bare hands, put music together, and this is where we are, and this is the results that you're getting. That's a reward in itself. But I still have to humble myself. I still have more room. I still have more to go. There's more to give. And you don't ever stop growing. And I think Brooke said something like the last 4 or 5 years she saw change. Well, I can also say maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and I've been doing this solo artist thing since 2004, but my trend really did not take off until 5 years ago. 5 years ago, it really started trending upward. So that is a reward in itself. But needless to say, to sit here and look back on when you started to where you are now. If you see the growth, I'm happy. But humble yourself and understand there's more room out there.
Mhm. I love it. Thank you. Yes, absolutely. Brooke? Yes.
Yes. The most rewarding part of this journey and this path as an artist and a musician, I would say, is knowing that my art and my gift can impact anybody that hears it, whether they're again maturated or younger. And also, I look at it as a double sided thing because I do work with young musicians, I work with children, and I also teach educators in regards to contemporary music. And so, education has been a huge part of my life. Both of my parents were educators, retired educators. My father was in education for 40 years, my mother, 33 years. She was a music specialist. So I came from a creative family. My father, he was an author as well as a visual artist and also an English major. So I came from creativity and I'm so grateful for that. And I love Dee's story about how he was almost the opposite, where it started later in life. Mine started extremely early when I was 3, really, even before that, before I was conceived. So, but anyway,
Interesting.
it was already doing,
Yeah.
thing in creative art
Mhm, mhm.
before me, and before my siblings. So when I came out, as my father would always say, you were just smiling and just ready. And my mom would always tell me, she was like, I was in labor for 12 hours with you. And you was the smallest thing that came out, but you just smiled. And I was just like, I came out of here smiling, ready
Right.
to go. But
Light up the world.
yeah,
That's
exactly.
right.
So
That's right.
my dad would always tell me that he's like, Brooke, you're my superstar. And he would speak life. My parents spoke life into me and my siblings from a very early age because they recognized that, we were special, and every parent's going to tell their child you're special, but in a way that could impact others. And so I witnessed my parents impacting the community in which we live because they work with children. And so I feel like that's rewarding to work with children, to work with the next generation that's going to grow up and remember the impact you had on their life, and then, support you and your music and then tell their children. It lives forever that way.
Mhm.
So if you keep your craft to yourself, and you're a selfish artist, which there are many, it's all about them and who cares, and I get on stage, it's mine and me and all that stuff. Your craft is only going to go so far. Your legacy, if you have one, is not going to go as far as it could if you would just open yourself up and realize, it takes vulnerability to impact, because you have to be vulnerable to
Yes.
share your story, to be honest, like, hey, I failed a few times, I
Yes.
fell flat on my face, I've been hurt, I've been lied to, I've, all of this stuff. It takes a lot of guts, to be
Yes.
honest, because then it's like anybody could judge you at that moment. But
Yeah.
that's the beauty of the path. And when you're more honest, more people like you.
They
That's
do.
what I've learned.
They love it. They
And
love that
yeah,
authenticity.
they love the authenticity versus,
Mhm.
yes,
Yeah.
I've done it
I'm
all
perfect.
correctly, never made a mistake.
Right.
And they're like, no, I see straight through that, right?
Right.
Saw that. Yes. So when you put that stuff aside, it's just really great to be able to know that it's okay to share your story, to share the things that you fell short about, to share that, hey, at one point I wanted to give up, or hey, at one point I just thought that,
Yes.
hey, my time is up, or maybe I'm not going to hit it. And then I look up last year, that's where my happened, and my following on social media just
Blew up.
80,000. Yeah,
Yeah.
over 80,000
Mhm.
just within 4 months.
Mhm.
And that was just because
You
I
connect.
decided to be Brooke and
Mhm.
just say, it's time.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful for all the adversities. I'm grateful for all those the naysayers who said, you can't make a living playing the violin. You
Mhm.
can't do this. You
Mhm.
can't do that. You're black. You're a woman. You're this. You're that. And I said, you know what? Thank you. Thank you for giving me more gasoline.
Right.
Because I'm about to go in. Okay.
Right. You just fueled me.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
So
Yes.
thank you.
Yes.
So I'm just really grateful for that. Again, working with people, working with young people, to me has been the most rewarding because somebody did it for me
Yes.
and they poured into me so that because they saw something before I could see it, and they were like, yeah, I'm gonna pour into that one. I'm gonna invest in that one.
Yes.
And I'm so glad. And that's where I felt charged. Like I have to do this because y'all are depending on me.
Yes.
You're depending on it. And our music, me, D, Kim, our music saves lives.
Yes. Yes.
And it impacts people to want to be better or to
Yes.
even go after their dreams. They'll probably never tell you, but just know that they've been impacted and they've been inspired.
Mhm.
And sometimes if they're bold enough and they tell you, you're just like, oh my gosh, that made my day.
Yes.
Just like a woman said, I wanted to kill myself. She
Yeah.
straight up messaged me that. She was like, I wanted to kill myself, but I heard New Day. That's one of my singles from last year. She was like, and I said, no, I'm not going to do that. I love this music. It just lifted me back up and I feel so much better. She's like, Brooks, thank you. You saved my life.
Yes.
And getting messages like that, I don't take that lightly. I
No.
don't take any message I get lightly from
Yes.
my fans, from those, supporters, because that's what this is all about.
Yes.
It's bigger than me. It's bigger than D. It's
Yep.
bigger than Dr. Shenita. It's bigger
Yes.
than Andrew. It's bigger than all of us. We're just
Yes.
literally like a reception pole that
Yes.
receives
Yes.
to give.
Yes. Yes.
So I'm just grateful for the connection and for great mentors.
Yes.
Right.
So,
I so appreciate that. And I'm just so excited. So I want to just share just a snippet of each of one of your songs, just a snippet for the audience, and we'll encourage them to go out and listen to the entire songs. But I want to start with Brooke, Feeling Love. So I want you guys to just go with us just for a minute.
okay. Oh, you chose that one, Dr. Shenita.
Yes.
What I feel when it comes to sharing my love with you. It's a little bit more than these three simple words. A feeling of pure ecstasy. Girl, you keep my heart beating. Rhythm shakes my soul. I'm lost in your love, like a ship without a sail. I'm floating, searching, waiting for your love. Let me take you home. Come on, girl, come and go with me. Can't help this feeling. Can't help this feeling. It's the feeling of love. Give me this reason. Give me this reason. For this feeling. It's the feeling of love. Give me this reason. Let me share how.
Okay. That was gonna take us somewhere.
That was a real teaser.
But that was beautiful though. That
I like
was
that.
beautiful. And I like it too. And yeah. Okay, so let's go over here
That's
to
on the
D.
new album, Heaven on
Yes,
Earth. So
I love it.
absolutely, yes.
So D, we're gonna get you to take us here for a minute.
Okay. That's a Full Tilt. That was recorded in your the video was done in your hometown.
That's right. You said it was done in Florida.
What's up with that?
No, I was saying, you mentioned earlier that was done in Florida.
Yeah. That the video, it was shot in Florida in her hometown. Shenita, Dr. Shenita's hometown.
I just I just want to say we just gave them a taste, just a taste of what they will experience, right? Just a little taste. You guys are incredible.
Thank you. Thank you.
Incredibly talented. And I just thank you for saying yes to sharing your gift with us on Sunday, July 23rd at 5 p.m. Andrew, anything?
Yeah, of course, for everyone that's tuned in, obviously make sure to, like, share, connect with everybody here. And as a reminder, July 23rd, 5 p.m. at Spivey Hall on the campus of Clayton State University. Doors open at 4 p.m. Make sure to visit the website, spiveyhall.org. And when you go on the website, click on the banner for this event and go ahead and scroll through for your ticket options. Again, doors open at 4. Make sure to get there, like when the doors open, meet, greet, network, connect with fellow lovers of jazz, music, some great causes that are being supported. Obviously, with one of the youth groups from the school performing during that time, that's also seed planting for the next generation of performing artists. And then at 5 p.m. is when the show starts. As was said earlier, each featured artist will do an amazing set. And then, of course, creatives being creative, you just have to be there to see the level of creativity that is going on. And I think it would be a great idea, again, not only just a reminder, date, time, and location, but get connected with the artists. So for the artists, please share your respective website, social media, and not only this event, but what are upcoming events where people can continue to support, engage, and connect with you?
Yes. Brooke, share with us your information and then followed by D. Really quickly, we have about 2 minutes. If you would just share in 30 seconds how they can connect with you. I am putting your banner there.
Yes. The simplest way is to go to my website, Brooke Alford, ALF, as in Frank, ORD, violin.com, brookealfordviolin.com. You can connect social media from there. You can see my YouTube as well as my upcoming performance schedule and so much more. So go there. That is the hub, my website. Mm-hmm.
Right. And also for me, just go directly to my website at deelucas.com, deelucas.com. There you see my tour dates, my products available for purchase, and also social media connects from there.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited. And as Andrew said, get your tickets. There are a few VIP tickets left. And with the VIP ticket purchase, there's a pre-concert reception for those who purchase VIP tickets. So we look forward to seeing you guys there. The artists will, come by briefly and maybe greet you guys. So we hope that you guys will choose the VIP route. If not, either route is great. We just want to thank you all for being here tonight as a part of this show. We want to thank Brooke and we want to thank Dee for sharing this space with us this time. I know it's not easy to carve out time, but we appreciate you for just making time. Andrew, as always, it's always a pleasure to have you grace the platform with me. I thank you for all that you do as a PR professional. So will you share your information?
Sure. On the business and creative community solutions, just visit the website, acenortonccs.com. You can navigate through for all the articles, coverage, social media, and more. And again, it's just a pleasure to be a part of a great event, great artists, great people, great purpose.
Yes. And with that being said, beautiful people, Brooke, Dee, we will connect again in about a week or so. I just want to thank you guys for being here and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you so much. See you soon.
Thank you guys.
All right. Peace.
Thank you, audience. Hold tight, guys, for 1 minute.